Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to another Wednesday evening live stream from the Shower Door Professionals Group. That's us. We're the pros here. Good to see you guys. Let's see what's happening out there. What's going on, Tim Connell?
Much. Just trying to stay cool.
Is it warm over there where you're at?
Oh yeah. When I go home, it's going to be even warmer. So
Nice. So what time do you normally get out of the shop?
well, normally I'm out of here at 5 o'clock and it takes about a half hour to get home. So
Yeah.
and where I go, it's 5 miles out the valley, and the weather just changes unless the fog rolls in. So it's a little on the hot side.
So on Wednesday nights, you just hang out there to
I hang out here.
hop on the call with us.
Yeah.
That's cool.
If I go home, my wife, you done yet? Are you done yet?
I know.
That's
I know. You go home, there's going to be trouble.
Oh yeah. That's
What's
why I'm
happening
still,
with you, Robert Patterson?
Just living a good life,
Yeah, you are.
staying busy and, paying the bills and staying out of trouble,
What more can you ask for, right?
Yeah. So,
There's Bill Dobman. Saw him pop in.
Hey,
What's going on,
Chris.
Bill?
How are you? Good evening. Hi, everybody.
what's up,
good
Bill?
evening.
So are you're probably gearing up to get out of town, huh? Get over to Atlanta.
Yeah, we're gonna go Sunday. I know there's a couple of guys in this group that are going, and we're gonna meet up Sunday night at the Omni. Then get to the show early.
Nice.
Yeah. Looking forward to it. First Sunday in football. So we'll see what happens. I'm not sure if the Falcons are playing home. I think they are. So it might be a madhouse. I'm not sure.
Wow.
I have to look
I
at
didn't even
this.
think of that.
I have to look at the schedule. They may not be home.
Yeah, C.R. Lawrence is doing a tour at the stadium,
Yeah, I got invited to that.
right? You gonna go?
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. Looking forward to it.
You can go look at everybody else's work.
That's right. Yeah, there's no way that the Falcons could be home, right? Because if we're going in the stadium, yeah, I guess there is a way. It's possible. We're going in Monday morning.
Traffic's so bad there, you never notice the difference.
Yeah, because the show actually starts Monday. I'll look at the schedule while we're doing this.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, it's right there, huh? Right next door.
Yeah. So let's see. Philadelphia, Atlanta, but it doesn't say where. Let's see.
Birds.
It could be in Atlanta because the home team is usually listed last, right?
Yeah.
Right. Well, hey, if you're out there on the Facebook page, you want to join us here in the Zoom chat room, you can just go ahead and click on the link there in the description. It'll redirect you on into here. And I don't know, I really didn't pick out a topic today. I just thought I'd see what you guys were up to. I know that glass build is what's happening this week. Just curious how many of you guys are planning on going. I'm sure Ellieben's going, right?
Yeah, we'll be there.
All right, I'll look you up, Elbow.
Cool. So you guys, who has a booth there? Not
What do you mean?
Bill?
No, we go as an attendee.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. NGA has a booth, so I'll see Max, probably Andrew.
Oh, absolutely. You can't miss those guys. They're everywhere.
right.
Well,
Yeah.
aren't they wearing like hats and glasses or something like the
Yeah,
glass nerds?
for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. Has anybody had the, what's the guys that drive around in the truck that were stopping in on glass? Was
Laser
glass,
Nations.
was it Glass
Nation.
Nerds?
Glazer Nation's been cruising the country.
That's it, Glazer Nation.
Yeah.
Nobody's had them stopped in at their place, right?
Who are they?
I don't really know who they are. I don't know if that's an organization or just some guys that call themselves that and go around talking to glass shops. I'll find out.
I'm not
Well-
sure, but I think the one guy's from New York, and his wife might have just had an aneurysm and passed away a week or two ago.
You're kidding.
Did you see that?
No.
There was one of the guys from Glazer Nation, and his wife, young lady, had a brain aneurysm and was in the hospital and then passed away.
Oh, wow. Did not know that.
Saw him on LinkedIn. I saw a few posts on there.
Hmm.
Maybe it's Facebook. I don't know. I don't remember. It's terrible.
My gosh, that's sad news.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Well, I was just listening to Max's podcast, and I haven't heard the whole thing yet. The first guest he had on there was Jim Evans with Big Clips, and that's another company, you know, I've heard about quite a bit. I mean, I've seen the name out there, but like I really didn't know who they were or what they did, but just that they're getting some traction, you know, out there because I'm hearing the name, you know.
Isn't that sort of the same thing that Brandon does with the follow-up? Same sort of computer program software?
Yeah, it sounds like it's similar, you know. I mean, there's some differences, you know, of course, but in that same kind of realm of you know, marketing. But anyway, I mean, he mentioned Glazer Nation, and it sounds like they've started up a partnership. So they're working together somehow, and I'm not sure exactly what Glazer Nation is either, but it's that same sort of a thing where I've heard a lot about it, and it definitely, there's been some growth there for sure. You know, I'm just so kind of sequestered here in my little shower door world that the shower door industry is kind of big to me, and I don't really know a lot of what's going on in the different corners of it. It's amazing how big of an industry it really is once you start to look at it.
You not listen to the whole podcast?
I haven't. I'm like halfway through the like second part of it. So
I had to take a little journey down to Martinsville today, which is, I don't know, 160-mile round trip, and got to listen to the whole thing. And,
yeah, I see. That's what I do. Is like I've got it on my phone, you know, and then just whenever I'm, you know, doing a job or need something to listen to, I'll crank it up and listen to the podcast.
They had the marketing director from C.R. Lawrence, I forget her name, and C.R. Lawrence is actually launching a new website finally
Wow.
within the next month. Maybe a little more easier to cruise around.
Maybe they
Yeah.
change all their catalogs so you can get through them.
You can cruise as much as you want, but if you don't have product and you can't get it out, it doesn't do you any good. It actually might make it worse because more people will be ordering stuff and they don't have it.
I'm wondering if with those guys left for FMC, if they jarred them a little bit and got them out of their comfort zone and said, we better do something here, because C.R. Lawrence hasn't changed much, but recently they've changed their shipping, now the website. So it seems like there's some movement there anyway. I don't know if it's related.
I'm just shocked that when Don Freeze sold C.R. Lawrence out and they only made him have a 3-year no compete. I mean, you're giving a guy over $1 billion. Of course he can start up again. I mean, I wish I had $1 billion to start up again. You know, I'm shocked that they're not scared to death of him, because he's basically all the employees that were important went over, including Danny Donahue.
Yeah, I've talked to Danny before. Is Mr. Freeze part of FMC?
Yeah, he's the money behind it.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
That's his company. They're basically it's Sarah Lawrence starting up
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
Yeah,
Sarah
'cause
Lawrence 2.0.
I talked to him at the trade show last time in Las Vegas. I said, what are you going to do? Well, if somebody wants to start up a company, I'll look at it. And if it's a good investment, I'll invest in it. So that's what he did, I think.
Yeah.
Because, whoever's, all the stuff they've been purchasing, every month you see something they've picked up.
Sure.
And it's Sierra Lawrence all over again. They picked up US Aluminum, they picked up Jackson Closers, they did all that. So that's what you're
Yeah.
seeing with this company now.
It's the way the world moves.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
Always changing.
Well, they're out there.
Competition's good though.
They're going to pick up Shower Door Showcase before you know it.
That's right. That's right. Got to watch out.
Then Chris can fly us around in his jet. He's a jet setter.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm talking about.
Yeah, me and Mr. Freeze.
lately my stuff from Sierra Lawrence is coming from different places. LA, Union
Yeah.
City, Texas.
Yeah.
When they
Yeah,
say,
it is. I don't get stuff shipped from Union City anymore, unless
I did.
unless you ship it freight.
No. I got
They
a
don't ship
UPS.
like UPS out of Union City.
I
To
got
me,
a UPS.
anyway. No.
No, but I got a UPS box out of Union City the other day.
Yeah. See, I'm a
Okay.
small player, though. I'm just a small fry, man. I don't get the love that you big players get. No, actually, I do. I get a lot of love.
Say, Chris, if you're paying your bills, you're going to get the love. It's that
Yeah.
simple.
It's
know,
true.
Yeah.
It's true.
They,
And
they make,
yeah, and if you're nice to people too, it's like, I mean, if you're patient with people and if you're understanding, and it's like every time something goes wrong, you blow a gasket. I mean, that's a good way not to get good service in the future, but if you expect people to make mistakes and if you're patient with them and understanding, it's amazing how far that goes with people because they really want to serve you and they really want to, take care of you. It's like if someone blows it and your response is, hey, you know what? I get it. We're all human and let's see how quickly we can, recover from this. I almost make a guy want to, prove himself to you. You know what I mean? So it's kind of, it's like psychology thing that, you're dealing with people, you really need to know how to.
exactly right. I do a lot of the stuff with the school system around, and that's something that we're trying to help teach kids is your personal relationships, dealing with people, basically is negotiating at a very, very young age. Be empathetic, understand their point of view, put yourself in their shoes, and see how you can come to a resolution. So it's something that should be taught. So we're trying to help them do it out of the class.
Yeah, it's a simple thing. One of the many kind of success books that I read was talking about Starbucks. What made Starbucks so big and grow so quickly was just the way that they took care of their employees, and they just made it a point to take these young kids really and teach them how to deal with people and just how to deal with situations, and they just have a really good program for preparing people for crisis and how to handle that, and they're really good at it. And as a result, the people who went through that training really benefited, not just the job, because it's kind of a low paying job. I mean, you really have to make up for that by providing some other kind of benefit, some other kind of service, and that's what they did. And I don't know if it's still the same. These big companies tend to lose that, once they get to a certain point, they're kind of talking about CRL. I mean, CRL was was just killing it, so for so many years. And then when they sold, I don't know if the new owners had the same kind of vision. The old guys did, the OGs.
Do you remember when they had salesmen?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
right.
great. We had Mr. Cook used to come around every 5-6 weeks.
Sure.
Nice personal touch.
Yeah, we used to have a gal that came by, and then another guy came by, and then they put out the salesman. And this guy's name was Steve, and every time he had to come down and look at something unrelated, he was like a rep then, and he'd always come by the shop and see how we were doing.
Sure.
Later on,
Makes a world of difference, though, doesn't it?
Oh yeah.
Makes
That
it
was the
bigger.
good old days. We used to get free tickets, season tickets. They would pass out to I grew up outside of Philadelphia, so you could see the Flyers or the Sixers and
Or
Eagles. It was nice.
back in the day, if you ordered so much and it was over a certain amount, you could pick a folding chair, one of their Sierra Lawrence Sanders or whatever. They'd have a gift or something you can pick with the order if you got over a certain amount of money.
We had a guy, it was a company in New Jersey called Colonial, and they were sort of a Samaka C.R. Lawrence type deal.
Yeah.
And the guy would come around about every 4 weeks in a box truck. His name was Phil. Here's a character. Let's leave it at that. He'd come in with a 10-second commercial for the new latest and greatest tool that they would have. And then the back of his truck, it was just like a miniature warehouse. If you needed some Bailey sash, J channel, a tool, point gun, different supplies, basic supplies, right there. No shipping, right to your door.
Yeah.
And they were
Talking
bought
about-
up by the Samaka, and then Samaka, was bought up by Sierra Lawrence.
Back in the day, when I first started, you bought from Samaka.
Mhm.
Sierra Lawrence didn't exist.
Yeah, well, like the story goes that, Somer and Maka was the big guy, right? And
They were.
CRL was the little guy.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to remember how the story goes. It was like Somaka was wanted to buy CRL. And man, I wish I knew this story better.
Hostile takeover.
But anyway, they didn't make a deal. But as CRL went on to become the big guy.
Oh yeah, they did.
Ended up buying Somer and Maka,
Yeah.
So yeah, that was back in their glory days. They're just buying up everything, I got to where it was like there was no really competition anymore. On top of he's carried that.
Speaking of Samaka, I've got a twin belt stand-up machine out here.
Yeah, they had all the
Runs
equipment,
off of-
man. They're the machinery
There are
people.
220 motors on each one of them. They 120 belts on them. Each belts, I believe. The
How
only
many
thing I
had
used-
those?
My dad had it.
The wet sanders.
Huh?
Was it the wet sander?
Yeah.
Yep.
You'd you'd grind on one and polish on the other.
I spent many hours standing in front of those back in
I did too.
another life.
When I first started, we did a job where we need somebody needs shells for a store. We'd cut them up in the shop, and I'd sit there and polish them.
Got really good.
Yep. Yeah.
Spinning the glass, throwing the water.
Now I use it for sharpening my chisel. In fact, one side
Conversation piece.
the box is rotted out, but the one side I rebuilt the box, so if I want to grind something with a heavy belt, I can still do it. Yeah. But other than that, it's just a fixture there. But it still runs.
Yeah, well, back in those days when I was just a young shop guy or whatever, that we polished all of our on mirrors and stuff. I mean,
Yeah, me too.
you know, it was just, it was, labor wasn't so expensive then to where,
No.
you know, today you can't really afford to pay somebody to do
No.
that, you know?
We had a Porta-Cable sander, and I finally wore it out to where I couldn't buy parts for it. And I started with it when I started working with my dad in the 70s. And it lasted all the way up to about maybe 10 years ago. And then the gears wore out in it. They were long gone, so. But nowadays, we just order everything out. Because we have it in our area. Not everybody has it in their area, so they have to get the machines and polish it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I don't have time for that stuff. Let somebody else do it.
I mean, I've got a slip rack in here that'll take 96 by 120, 84 by 120, all the way down, but all it's in now is garbage.
You don't stock anything anymore, huh?
All I stock is double and single strength, and maybe some 1/8" mirror to cut up during the day.
Mhm.
Everything else you order out, you get the next day.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we used to have cases and cases of glass in our shop and mirrors. No more.
And prices are good there that way.
So let me ask you, if you guys were to start over right now, you're a 25-year-old, you want to start your own business. Would you even consider doing what you did a long time ago, or would you just order from a supplier, mark it up and install it?
Order
Are
from
we-
the supplier.
So you just go out, measure and get everything from a supplier and install it. You wouldn't do anything in shop.
No,
That's your choice. How would anybody else?
I'd want to do it by hand, buy it by the cases, get good prices. And it's just more hands-on, you get more involved. I just think it takes personality out of it. If you're just taking something and putting it in, you're not really measuring. I don't know. I guess I'm still old school, but
Get your fingerprints on it, right?
yeah.
Yeah, but it's your, I guess what I'm getting at is some guys, every guy here is better than I am at installing doors or you know, putting in mirrors. But it's your frame of mind is are you in this for business to make money, or are you in it to be an artist? Like a lot of people are good artists and they just want to put their name on it and that makes them happy. So I guess really what comes down to it is what makes you happy. If you want to be in the glass business, what is it that you want to do to make you happy? Like I'm talking to a guy on the East Coast of Florida and he doesn't want to do any installing anymore, but he wants to get into fabrication and he wants to buy the equipment. And I'm saying, boy, if you don't have customers, you're taking
Gotta
a
be in the right market.
big expense if you don't have customers already, unless you're your own customer.
I mean, you got to run those 24/7 to make money, just about.
There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. But I was just wondering if, you know, the guys that have been in the business a long time, if you had it to do over and you were starting right now, you know, you just got a vaccination with the fountain of youth and you're 25 years old and you want to start up in this because you love the glass business, what would you do? Would you still polish and seam yourself, drill your own holes for outlets in the mirrors?
I know what I would do. I opened my first business in Delaware. I'd look into that Mr. Shower Door I saw down in the neighborhood and went right into shower doors. Should have done it back then.
Yeah.
You got out of all the other stuff.
They're in the one in Delaware in Newark?
Yeah. I had my first little shop there in Newark on Main Street and never got to meet the gentleman, but saw the van, knew where he lived, little development, worked out of his garage.
Nice guys.
That's where I got the idea.
Yeah.
When I opened this time, that's all I started with was just doing shower doors.
Yeah.
My little community, I'm a country guy. I opened a glass shop just to stay busy and to service my county here for just residential repairs and things like that.
So
my money's in shower doors. I do hospitality and I travel in a bigger area. We have Northern Virginia people moving down here, summer homes, vacation homes, retirement. So there's a little money, not a huge market, but a nice, comfortable market.
Well, when I started, I was in Springfield, Massachusetts, and believe me, it's an armpit. It, very, very, very blue collar. I was just lucky that I made it there, but not an area where I would certainly even look at opening up a location, to get any kind of volume out of. But there's a lot of good glass guys around. But like you said, they like putting their hands on it, and they're really good, but they're not going to grow. They're not going to get any bigger. I don't know if they have aspirations of getting bigger. But at what point do you decide you want to get into machinery, or you just want to sell and install? That's a big decision.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't do the machinery route. That's a higher level that I would want to get into personally.
Yeah, it's a big
more the customer guy, and at the house buying from you.
Yeah. Well, look at now, Eliban, did you do the same thing? You started kind of like me, just doing installations, then get into fabrication?
Yeah, so here in Florida, that's pretty much how we started. We were doing just the installs, and then all of the issues that all of the companies have ordering glass. So we just decided to be pretty much like our company right now. We are the only customer for glass, so we just do everything in house.
Yeah. Yeah. But if you had to start over again and you didn't do the install, you were only doing the fabricating, do you think there'd be enough business to just fabricate for people around you?
In Florida, yes. In Florida, you definitely have, a lot of business. If you were just a fabricating company, there's only, a handful in Central Florida. And then I guess with the exception of Miami, there's not too many companies that actually temper glass, but that's a good question.
Yeah, just kind of interested. And then go ahead, Chris.
The thing about doing, that, being a fabricator, is that you really are becoming more of a, just like, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a product. I mean, you're really up against your competition, so it's like you really have to either be able to do it for less money or get it done faster. I guess it's the same as anything else, you need to be able to provide some kind of a premium in order to set yourself apart from the others. It's like, in our area, there are several vendors that I can buy glass from, but I pick the people who can get it to me, meet all these criteria, which are primarily, number one, it's like service. It's like if everybody's going to make mistakes. We were talking about this earlier. Everybody makes mistakes, but it's how you can recover from that. And having a vendor who, if they do something wrong, they fix it just really quick. No argument, no big fuss. They just fix it. Price is always a factor. Speed, is always a factor. Quality is a huge one. So between like quality and service, that's to me the big deal.
All right, so I got a question. I got a challenge on this now. So this is good. This is some good topic.
Yeah.
You say service is important. Now, Eliban and I are both in manufacturing. You're making it for Eliban, you're making it for yourself. We're making it for ourselves and our competitors. And we felt that if we were going to survive bad times, it had to be because of service. But the second part, it had to be quality. So then there's a fine line. What do you lean towards, service or quality? Because you got time, service, quality, and price. So you've got four big factors. I'm going to take price out of the picture. Unless you're way out of the price range, I'll pay $30, $40 for a door more than I would pay from another if I'm going to get it on time and the quality is going to be right. Do you guys agree with that, or you disagree?
I totally agree with that.
I agree.
Okay. Because that $45, you're going to lose it when it's wrong. And you got to go
Yep.
back to the house and you make concessions and you wasted a day, right? To me, that's a big deal. Reliability is a big deal. You're going to be there on time. Everybody's got jobs. And if most builders do bad job scheduling, that means you're measuring the day of closing and they're pressuring you to get the job in. So reliability and reliability on time is, to me, more important. Then quality comes into there, which is important also. And then price. So to me, I put price last.
Yeah.
But I don't know if everybody feels that way, because when you go out knocking on doors, the first thing they talk about is price. They don't talk about quality or service. It's really funny when you're a salesman and you're out there trying to get new business. How do you compare against Oldcastle? How's your pricing? I mean, that shouldn't even be in the topic, but it is. Do you say that when your sales reps come? You get guys call on you to, another glass vendor ever call on you to try and get business?
Yeah, absolutely.
How does that
Absolutely.
discussion go?
Usually it's, here's the thing. It's like, I've been doing business with Oldcastle, for the past few years. So I was ordering from different people, and Oldcastle kind of reached out to me. I was ordering from them from time to time. And their sales guy got in touch with me and he was like, hey, what do we have to do to get like all of your business? I mean, that was kind of how they approached me. I was like, well, I don't know, let's talk. What can we do? And they matched or beat all the pricing that I was getting. But on top of that, their service just is excellent. And this is, I know not every service center for Oldcastle, across the country is the same. I mean, it depends on the people you have in your service center. But the people that I'm dealing with, let me see. Oh yeah, good, thanks. Are just really great, and I don't talk about this very much, probably not enough, but I really got to give these guys props. They deliver to me within a couple of days, and they tell me when it's coming, and it comes on the day that they say it's coming. And if it doesn't, they're calling me that the day before saying, hey, you know what, our truck's not going to make it because of this or that. It'll be on this other day. And they're really good at that. If it comes in wrong and I call them and say, I don't even call them, email and say, hey, look, there's something wrong with this. That's no questions. They just remake it. They're not like, okay, well, we're going to come and pick up a piece of glass and inspect it and see if you're telling us the truth or whatever, They just like, boom, they start remaking it, and they'll get it out within a couple of days. I mean, they're really hitting all of those things. Now, quality, might slip a little bit from time to time, and I might start getting like a number of things that are coming in wrong, but they're so quick at fixing it that it doesn't really matter, because I'm telling my customers, hey, it's going to be 2 or 3 weeks. So that's what they're expecting. That gives my supplier time to make it wrong and remake it and still get it to me in time for me to keep my promises and stuff.
So you're inspecting it in your shop. You're not just throwing it on your truck, going out to the house and hoping it fits.
Absolutely. Yeah, always inspect. I mean, if it gets to the job and there's something wrong with it, I really screwed up.
Yeah, right.
No, it's just like I do. I use glass fab, use Oldcastle, but
yeah,
it comes in the shop. We put it on the table. We check it. We put all the hardware on it. We check. We have a shower guard reader because we use a lot of that. Check it for shower guard. If it's on the wrong side, we move on to something else.
Sure.
Yeah, exactly.
So do you
Do you
ever
have
have
any problem? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, do you ever have an employee that you always felt, this is a really good employee. I wish I never, I hope they never left. And then when they do leave and you get thrown into their job, you realize they weren't really as good as I thought they were. I'm finding shortcuts that they took or things that they really shouldn't have done. And I found that happened a few times when I changed suppliers. As good as I thought they were, you can't really gauge it on the other guys because you haven't tried the other guys yet. So sometimes when they drop the ball, they put the ball in your court to go ahead and try somebody else. And those things happened a lot in my experience. You know, I've gone through the Old Castle, the Guardian plants, Coral was a really good example of it. You know, I started with Old Castle, and when I went to Coral, it was night and day difference. And I only went to Coral because Old Castle kept dropping the ball on things, and I had to try somebody else. But then they ran into a problem when the tornadoes went through Tuscaloosa, and until they were back up and running, I had to try a couple other vendors, and I did, and I went back to Coral as soon as they were back up and running. And it really made a difference. I mean, I went through the Old Castle up in Tampa, and they were just horrific. We used the one down in Miami, and we used the Guardian in Miami, and they were horrific. Mm-hmm. So, you know, sometimes situations come up, it kind of force the issue to try somebody else. Then you say, geez, I'm glad I did.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of how I ended up where I am now, you know, and when I first started out, I was buying stuff from Old Castle, and I was having a terrible time with it. I mean, it was awful.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's the same, I'm talking about the same location, same building, you know, but it's like, what happened for me was, I think a big part of what happened for me is like, I've got a contact there who I deal with, and I send him I email him my stuff, or well, I just give him a heads up. I use Showers Online, and I directly order from there. So
you see where that
content.
So who do you use? Who's your contact?
Oh, it's Brandon. It's let me see here. Let me tell you, because he is a great guy, man. Brandon Moore.
It used to be
if you're out there, Brandon Moore, shout out to you, man. You are making my job
easy. Used to be a Craig Garcia, I believe.
He is a good guy, man. It's like, you know, I'll send him, something comes, especially, you know, like I have a problem. It's like, hey, Brandon, I've got a problem with this. It's like, done. You know, I mean, just like that, because it's like, the idea of like going back to a vendor and it's like, oh, hey, I've got a problem. They're like, oh, really? Well, what exactly is wrong with it? Well, you cut the hinge cut out too shallow. It's not going to work. You know, it's not going to fit. Oh, well, could you take a photo and send it to me? I was like, well, really? You know, I mean, you know how much my time is worth? Way more than the shower door. If you would have just remade the shower door and charged me for it, you would have actually saved me money.
Yeah, right.
You know, and I just can't do business like that. And I've had so many vendors do me like that. These guys know it's like I'll get something and say that there'll be a scratch or something. Like I think I can get away with that. And I'll send an email and say, hey, this door is scratched. It's down pretty low though. I think I can sell it. But I just want to be on the record, you know, if they reject it, that we had this conversation. You know, and they appreciate that. So they know that I would never, you know.
So Chris, this goes back to what I'm talking about, teaching kids about relationship building. You see, that Brandon saved the Old Castle business with you because of his relationship, and he knows how to deal with you.
Yeah.
And that's what's so important with schools, and they should be able to teach those relationships. It's really, really important.
Hey, but Chris, going back to Old Castle, you know, I tried to get in touch with him, give me some pricing. And the guy that used to call on us, well, he went over to the other side. And the other guy, glass half. And so the guy called me. Finally, I said, who's my sales rep? He called me. I said, well, you know, I need some pricing so I can order from you. I'm not going to order just off the bat. I never heard from him. You know, stuff like that, just, you know.
I know. You know, I've had that same experience with other, you know, another good example of this is like Cardinal. I mean, those guys are fantastic. If you've got a good service center, man, it is golden. Those guys are great because they've got a great product. I mean,
Yeah.
I've never heard anybody talk bad about their product. I mean,
You talking about Cardinal shower door?
yeah.
Yeah.
All their products. They've got a ton of great products.
Yeah.
They've got shower doors. They've got, wardrobe doors.
They went through some growing pains though.
Yeah, right. I mean, everybody has that, right? I mean, you
Yeah.
need to expect that.
Do you have problem with your deliveries on the rack trucks?
With
With all the
Cardinal,
other glass? No, from Oldcastle.
Oldcastle,
Yeah.
not generally.
Yeah.
Not generally.
I went through, I started off with a company that they're like middleman for Oldcastle. They just do shower doors. You order from them, they get it from Oldcastle. And then I went to Cardinal and dealt with them for a while. Then they were sold out. But I went with the True Light. There's 5 other different glass suppliers I was getting better pricing from, but they were coming in on a truck wrong, no customer service. You could not get through to anybody. You couldn't have a relationship with somebody because there's one person sitting at the desk overloaded with orders. And they usually didn't know anything about shower doors at all. But going to what's HMI now, HMI Glass Innovators or whatever, I could call them at any time. They have a pod dedicated to my area. If I have an issue, they'll remake it for me right away. They'll overnight it to me.
Yeah.
The price is a little bit higher. Their glass is wrapped, edging, wrapped. It's in a box truck, protected. Their service has really gotten really good.
Yeah.
And the remakes, half price, unless they made the mistake, they'll run I guess they have a special line they run around, and they're updating all their equipment. They just enlarged their tempering facility, the thing in Reno. I'm happy with them.
Yeah.
But that's what they do. They do shower. I get my insulated glass and my flat glass off of the glass guys, but I won't get shower doors from them anymore because it's just another product they sell. Whereas like with Bill, you sell shower doors. That's what you do. Cardinal, they sell shower doors. That's their specialty. That's the language they talk. And their customer service is second to none, my opinion.
Yeah, well, and that's your service center, and it's like, that's the thing about these big companies with lots of locations. It's like, the results, it's not like a McDonald's where like, you're going to get the exact same product and service no matter where you go, good or bad, right? It's going to be the exact same thing no matter where you go. And with these service centers, it's not. I mean, it only takes, that one person, that one rep or that one cog in the wheel to kind of screw things up or make things really great, So it's like, I have, so it just depends on where you're located. I know a lot of people have a lot of trouble. I see people bitching about Oldcastle all the time. I mean, they're having a hard time with them. I'm just really fortunate to have,
Back to what Bill said, you have a relationship with somebody inside. That's hard to get.
And there's somebody who cares about me. There's somebody in there who like, I just know that like, hey, when I try to, always be like I said before, really polite, really understanding, I want to figure out for my vendor, hey, what can I do to make it really easy for you to serve me? I mean, what can I do to make my drawings, as clear as possible, my instructions as clear as possible? I mean, would you rather I call? Would you rather I text? Would you rather I email? Would you rather I, order directly from Showers Online? And they said to me, it's like, I was getting quotes from them. Here's another example. The same relationship. It was like I was getting quotes. I get a quote and then I'd order. I get a quote and I'd order. And then he said, and it was starting to get kind of clunky. And he said, hey, why don't you just order and not get a quote? Just skip the quote and just go straight to the order. And I was like, you know what? That makes sense. I mean, I know about what it's going to be. I don't have to know down to the nickel, what they're charging me. I know about what it is. I know that I'm charging enough. I started doing that. And man, that sped things up incredibly. There's a really good book. If you're into reading books, I like to listen to audiobooks, really. And it's called The Speed of Trust. And it's, I don't know if you're familiar with that book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. It's a really famous book, Stephen Covey. And The Speed of Trust is actually written by his son, Stephen Covey. It's like Stephen R. Covey or something. It's not Junior, but excellent book. And it just talks about how much time and energy and resources we waste because we don't trust each other. And if you just cut out all that mistrust and get in, just get into a relationship and trust people, man. Let them know that you trust them. Ask them, to be just like the way you ask for a sale. Ask people to be loyal to you. Ask people to be faithful to you. Say, hey, can I count on you? Can I trust you? And they say yes. And then you say, I do trust you. And just launch into a relationship like that. You'll be amazed at how quickly you can get things done. When you trust them, they trust you, and you can brush all this other crap aside. And it's like, hey, when there's a problem, and I learned this when I was working in the food service industry. I used to, work in the kitchen and stuff. It was actually a lot of fun. You get into, a dinner rush, man, and it's just crazy, and you're in the weeds, and it's like things are screwed up, things get jacked up, and it's just like, hey, we're just going to fix this. Doesn't matter whose fault it is. We'll sort out what went wrong when this is over. But right now, we're just going to put our heads together. We're going to, fix this. And just taking that kind of an approach to business of like, hey, let's just make this happen. Maybe I made a mistake. Maybe you made a mistake. That's not really what matters right now. Let's just get this done, and then we'll sort it out. If I owe you money, send me a bill. I'll pay the bill. Happy to.
So going back to Oldcastle, so we do everything. So we've tried to order, large tempered lights, like 8x8, or lamp, or a Neil.
Mm-hmm.
They won't deliver them. It says too big for the driver to get off the truck.
Even with someone there to help them.
Yeah. I mean, we do everything. So we order a large light. They won't deliver to you.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
a problem.
Yeah. So then I go to the other side. And no problem,
Yeah.
And they'd bring it in standing up, and I said, now take it back and lay it down. Because I'm not taking it off the truck standing up.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and that's the thing. I mean, it's like I'm just about the luckiest glazer in the world, man.
Sounds
I
like
mean,
you
it's
are.
like things just, everything's just kind of gone my way, And getting back to kind of like what Bill was asking originally about, if you had to do over again, you're starting over, you're, a kid again. Oh, how would you do it different? Man, if I could set it up the way that I have it right now, if I could have done that when I was, just starting out, man, I don't know. I would be, I don't know. I don't know what would have happened to me.
When I first started, my dad was doing custom homes in Pebble Beach, and I grind a 45-degree miner on a plate, no problem. And then I had 2 brothers in the service. They came back, got in the business, and we went in the commercial side of it. I cut up a ton of storefront. I did a winery. And that died in 1980. So then we went back to residential. So, like I said, we had a lot of glass in the shop, cut a lot of it, ground it, mirrors, drilled holes, did everything. So if I started today, I wouldn't do that.
So Chris, if you did go back and you started over again, would you still stay as a single man shop?
I would. I mean, I'd at least start out like that. I would have to see, where it went from there. I mean, times are different now, than they were 20 years ago. I mean, big time. I don't have to tell you that.
Oh yeah.
I mean, just the way, industry is now, and going forward, I mean, there's just, there's kind of a lot of uncertainty about, what's coming next. In terms of supply line, all sorts of things, red tape and all that. But I mean, I wouldn't do anything. If I was starting over, I wouldn't do anything but shower doors. I'd do it exactly the way I'm doing it now. I would go out, measure, sell, and order everything delivered in, have everything delivered to me. I wouldn't even need as much shop space as I have. And I don't have much. I've got like 1,000 square feet of shop space probably. I could get by with half of
Yeah. Yeah.
that, easy. I mean, I've got, a bunch of junk laying around because I've just got extra space and just tend to fill it up.
Me too.
Right? You just tend to fill, if you've got it, you fill it up.
I got a ton of junk.
But if I started from that place, because I've gone through all of the whole being full service and having crews of guys and having, multiple trucks running and all that. I've done all that and then got to where I am now, kind of like moved in reverse or something. But if I started out where I am now, I might grow. I might even franchise it or something, because it's a good brand and it's a good business model. But I'm busy pursuing my artistic interests and inventing little gadgets and like writing and doing stuff like that, which I really enjoy. I like being in the industry.
Yeah.
And having a shower door shop puts me like right on, the street, so to speak, of being really hands-on involved in that, which that's kind of fun. But, I'm not going to be able to do this forever.
Well, I think that's the point. Can you make enough money to substantiate yourself without wearing yourself out because you're doing the measuring and the installing? There's going to be a point where you say, my knees aren't holding up, my back is killing me. Panels are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Glass is getting thicker and heavier. There's going to be a point where say, I got to get a young buck to do this, but I wouldn't mind doing the sales and overseeing it. And then when does that lead to the next guy? And, or does it? And what happens when the young buck leaves and decides that, you know what, Chris, thanks. I learned enough. I want to do it myself now.
Yeah.
And then you're back to square one again.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
We've all been through it, right?
Right. Right.
So it's sort of like back in the day, we did a lot of commercial with insulated glass.
Yeah.
And I thought, those suckers are heavy. Then we went into shower doors. They're even heavier. I mean,
yeah, and those are, up little staircases, little narrow staircases, but low hanging ceilings and around these tight corners and these tiny little bathrooms where you have to get the glass in and then close the door so you got enough room to work.
I always take the door off.
Yeah, there you go. That's smart. That's a smart move. Yeah.
Hey, Bill, do all your installers go out of your fabrication facility, or do you have a team out of every location that you have?
So in our fabrication facility, that handles Naples, Fort Myers. But once I get up into the other areas like Sarasota, Orlando, Tampa, those have showrooms there with a space in the back for all the deliveries come from fabrication there. And then the installers would be no different than Chris. You get it installed there. I mean, you get it delivered to you, the hardware, everything, and then they install.
You guys check everything before?
Yeah, it checks twice. It checks at our shop. We have a guy that is the delivery guy that checks everything before it leaves based on the order. Yeah. And then let's say a remote store like Tampa, they're checking it in also against their paperwork. Yeah. They've got an inside guy also. Yeah. If they needed coatings done, if they need special stuff cut. Now with the new black sweeps, if it's black hardware, then he's going to cut a black sweep for them. And those are nice, by the way. We did a first couple of them. They're really nice.
Huh.
Awesome. Yeah, you mentioned that before.
That's FHC, right?
What's that?
FHC. Is that where you got them?
Yes. Yeah. They're reasonably priced, but they really do a nice finished look on the bottom. They look good. I was afraid they were going to be too shiny when you're selling matte black, and then you're going to have this high gloss. But no, it looks pretty darn good. It really does.
Nice.
And we've got a big competitor on the Monterey Peninsula. I think they have 3 shops. When the guys do their shower doors, they just tell them, here's your paperwork, the glass is over there, throw it in your truck, here's your hardware, and leave. And nothing gets checked.
So those guys get paid by the job or by the hour? The installers,
By the hour.
they're paid by the hour.
And they get out there, doesn't fit.
Doesn't fit, they come back.
I had a guy that worked for me for years, and he decided to go to, the other side of the fence. I did not want to tell him what was going to happen to him, because I knew. And they have 3 shops, one in Monterey, one in Hollister, and they work out of Watsonville. He ended up in Hollister working, and he'd go out and do jobs, and nothing fit.
I think I know the shop you're talking about.
Of course you do. Starts with a
So
D.
you pay your guys by the job?
Me? No,
Yeah, so they take
No.
over responsibility
no, they're all hourly.
hourly?
Yeah.
Hourly, they get bonuses after, doing so many completes. We have a matrix that we set up. Each job is assigned a certain time frame. So if it's a door and panel, they'll get an hour and a half plus the half-hour travel. So there's a time frame for a slider, a single door, all the way through a 5-piece custom or steam.
So you do track them on your trucks?
Yeah, we track job completion. They have to call in every job in case there's service calls on the way.
Yeah.
We got GPSs on the truck, so we know at least where they are when they're moving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a supplier that would deliver tabletops to us. And they track their trucks. The guy's on the side of the road for 45 minutes.
Yeah, that
Sleeping,
happens. Yeah, next week we could tell stories about what we've found over the years. I guess it helps new guys to try and be preventative. But I mean, before our trucks had GPSs on them, God knows what they were getting away with.
Yeah. Like this one company that Chris knows about. There used to be a donut shop over in Monterey. And the guys would leave the shop and they go to the donut shop for a half hour
Sure.
before they went to work.
Yeah.
That's what they thought of their boss.
Yeah.
Hey, we used to do that.
Joys of having employees.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we had to set a policy. You only get, like, these guys, our gas stations have the donut shop built in on their coffee. And every morning they would leave and then they would all congregate again. All 15 or 20 of them would sit around, get their coffees, wait for everybody before they'd leave. And we were losing an hour and a half a day
Yeah.
with 20 guys.
Yeah.
Said, okay, the rule is now you fill up on your way back because they're coming back at random times.
Yeah.
And they're not going to sit and congregate. So you leave in the morning, you're going directly to the customer's house and you fill up with gas on the way back. That's the only way we could solve it.
Smart. There you go. Just break it up. Will.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah,
Hey, you learn from experience, right?
absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody has to use the bathroom in the morning until they get to work and clock in. And then
Yeah.
off to the bathroom they go for 15 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Load the truck.
I had one guy did that. It says, if you need the bathroom, go use it, then come clock in,
Crazy.
Yeah,
Heads up.
you can tell a lot about a person by those little habits, right?
Oh, yeah.
All right. So if anyone's going to the show, I know you're going to wrap up, but look us up. I know, Chris, I'll send you pictures from the show, I guess. You're not going to be
Yeah,
there.
absolutely. Yeah. Gosh, I don't know. Next Wednesday, you'll be down there, right?
I won't be there no, I'm coming back Tuesday night.
Okay.
So I'll be there Monday and half a day Tuesday. I fly out at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So I'll be back on this Wednesday night, but I'll grab some pictures, try and send them to you. So if you want to put them up,
Yeah.
anything you want pictures of in particular?
Do it, man. Yeah, next week we'll talk about glass build and what's going on out there, and interested in seeing, if there's anything, me, I'm a gadget guy, so it's like anything new, anything like
Who's at the show that buys your gadgets?
FHC.
FHC buys your gadget stuff. So if I
Yes,
see them
sir.
on display, I'll get a picture for you.
That'd be awesome. Yeah,
Hey,
those guys are
Will,
good.
Bill, I want to ask you, a couple months ago, Keith was showing a little level, the suction cup that you put like on the door.
Yeah,
That you
yeah.
kept holding the level. Do they work and do you carry those?
Yeah, he ordered from somebody. I think he put the link on there, but yeah,
Level up or something like that, level
Yeah.
one or.
they're phenomenal. Chris, didn't you make something relatively similar to that?
I was working on something in that realm, but
Yeah.
I'm interested in seeing that thing. I might want one of those.
Yeah, Keith's got one in the office.
I think they're going to be at the show.
All right, I'll
Yeah,
look it
I'm
up.
sure.
They're Australian or something like that. They're
Yeah, the guy sent them to him because he's got such a big following that people are sending him stuff to promo for him.
such an
He's got-
entertainer.
He's got these Viper sunglasses now, and they love them. So he got some out for Andrew. You'll see the Viper ones are pretty funny.
So how big is that show in Atlanta?
It's your typical glass show. It's pretty big, but I don't think it compared to Vegas. It's almost the same.
Yeah.
They go back and forth, right? It's the same show.
Yeah,
I mean, it dwarfs by comparison to the one in Dusseldorf. I mean, that thing is just unbelievable. I think the Dusseldorf's like 15 times the size of it.
Oh, yeah.
Wow,
Well,
that would be
back,
awesome.
It just,
back in the 70s, that glass show was twice as big too.
yeah, it probably is. So many more there's a lot of machines. There's a whole section of all machinery there.
If they get the techs to come set them up. That's
They
the
are-
problem.
Our autoclave just left California
Ooh,
Yes.
all right. That's exciting.
yesterday. Yeah. The thing
Oh.
is monstrous,
You got off the ship, huh?
monstrous. So it should arrive at our shop the day I come back from
All right.
Glasgow.
Cool.
Should
Cool, man. I'll be excited
should-
to see some photos of
I
that.
need some pictures of that.
Thing
Yeah.
is a monster. It's a monster.
I'll bet. It's got to be.
All right.
Right
Right.
on. Well, thanks for showing up, you guys.
Yeah, it was fun.
Have a great trip out to Glass Bell. Build, give my
Yeah.
love to all the people out there.
Take plenty of pictures.
Yeah, I know
Fill up your goodie bag.
Billy Britt will be there. I don't see Billy on tonight.
Yeah, Billy. Yeah.
You
I know
know
Alvin's heading there.
Greg Stoll? Do you know Clinton Glass from Knoxville? Greg's awesome. I know he'll be there. Anyhow, see you
Awesome.
guys next week.
All right, you
All right.
guys. See you next
All
time.
right.